So the next stop on our list is command execution. So as in previous videos, we have the exercise exactly, or most specifically, we have the way in which how this type of attack actually occurs. We have the prevention, which I'm really excited to look into. So this is actually the defense mechanisms against command execution, and then we have the quiz. So I'm going to try to keep a consistent format like that I started in the previous video, which is exercise or attack, command execution attacks in one video, command execution prevention and quiz in the second video. So many web applications call operating system processes via the command line. If your application calls out to the OS, you need to be sure command strings are securely constructed. So let's look into the exercise. Many websites make use of command line calls to read files. That's probably one of the most common ways, not only to read files but also to write files, send emails, and perform other native operations. If your site transforms untrusted input into shell commands, you need to take care to sanitize the input. If you don't, an attacker will be able to craft requests. So in this case, we're talking about HTTP command execution attacks that execute whatever command they want. Let's see how easy or how complicated that is. So imagine that you run a simple site that performs DNS lookups. Your site shells out to the NS lookup command. So in Windows, for example, I'm not really sure if we have NS lookup. We do have NS lookup in Windows. That prints the result. So let's actually go back there. That prints the result. What address would you like to look up? So let's say Coursera.org because it was auto completed in there. Okay, so have a look at the code. Since the domain parameter is not sanitized in this situation, you only where is the issue here? This is PHP. You instantiate a variable domain, and that variable actually takes whatever is in the input field. So whatever is in the domain here, which is the input field, for example. Yeah, so then you instantiate, you create a new variable for to actually execute the NS lookup for this specific domain, and in this situation you're using the system built-in function from PHP to actually run the command NS lookup on the domain, which actually just takes the domain from the variable here without actually any sanitization whatsoever. So notice how the domain parameter is taken in from the GET request and immediately interpolated into a command string. That's freaking serious. So Slim is a no-gooder basement dweller, so this is Slim. He has already noticed you're running PHP and wonders how he can take advantage of that. Okay, while running a simple domain lookup, he notices that the domain is passed in the query string under the domain parameter. So he's actually doing a simple domain lookup, for example. So let's see if it works, or it's just for exemplification purposes. In the query string under the domain parameter. So let's go back there. So it says google.com, then actually clicks on that, and it's actually Slim is, where is it? It's passed in the query string under the domain parameter, which is what happened. There's a storm brewing, of course. He guesses that the IP lookup is performed via an operation system function, so this is actually based on experience, and attempts to tag on an extra command at the end. So in this situation, he just wants to probably terminate that NS lookup command, and then depending on the operating system, he tries to actually execute another command immediately after. And an echo hext, and he's actually going to look if that other command is reflected in there, which it actually is. Now in other situations, so you can say google.com not only end, but sometimes it works with end, sometimes works with just terminating the command if you're in a Linux environment, and then you're actually again doing ls-a or echo hex or whatever. There are different ways to actually chain or string over commands, or you can just pipe this. I don't know if you can pipe it, but it would be worth trying. Success. Liam can see the output of his echo command on the web page. This demonstrates that your site is vulnerable to command execution. Now he has a mechanism to execute code on the server. This is very bad news. Okay. You tried. Add the command cat etc password on the end. Let's actually try with this one. So cat etc password. See if it works. It didn't. So let's actually try with end. What did I do here? Yeah. So let's try it with, and as you can see, you're getting etc password command not found, which is also really explicative. So cat etc password, and there you go. That's a basic command execution in its very most primer or prime form. Being vulnerable to remote command or remote, not only remote code, but remote command execution is a server risk. Better learn how to protect ourselves. So that is the subject for the next video.